The purpose of this town hall is to just introduce you to IDSC at a very high level. So it's really designed for people who haven't had an opportunity to hear about IDSC or take advantage of the resources that IDSC has. And if you have any, at least get you some idea of how to get started, who to reach out to when you have questions and things like that. So it's not nitty-gritty details of how to use the high-performance systems or things like that, but just sort of a high-level introduction. And I want to encourage you all to interrupt me as much as you like. The more interactive this is, the better. The more questions we have, the better. So just feel to interrupt as we go along. I have some slides I'm going to show you just to get the conversation going. So again, any questions at all? I may not have the answer, but I can at least point you in the right direction. We have some IDSC regulars here also. Eve is here, and Pedro is here, and Robbie is here. And so they'll be able to answer questions as they come up also. And we also have some IDSC new folks. Justin is new folk, and David Chapman is one of our new joint faculty members between the Institute and computer science. And of course, Jacqueline is also on the call here. She handles a lot of the administrative issues for IDSC also. So with that, I'm going to just go ahead and get started. But again, please feel free to interrupt me if you have any questions. All right. So hopefully you can all see my screen. And I'm, let's see, I suspect you're seeing the wrong view. I need to
yeah, it's showing us though.
There we go. How's that? All right.
Perfect.
Good. Okay. So yes, I'm Ben Kurtman. I'm the Deputy Director of IDSC. And this is kind of our theme is enabling discovery. IDSC is the Institute for Data Science and Computing. And so, what do we mean by data science? Data science means many things to different people. We believe it's cutting edge scientific and computational approaches to attack large data sets, and let the important thing is we let the data to teach us. It's the data that actually generates the knowledge. And it's just a way of interacting with that data to really pull out the knowledge. And it's multidisciplinary, and it's an exciting new field. And we think it's going to change the world. And the Institute here is to help you get started on changing the world with data science. So of course we have a mission, catalyzing data-intensive research. We like to have a very localized focus in this mission in terms of what's happening across with our industry partners and what's happening in our local community. And of course we have a vision, and that is to solve some of those pressing challenges and letting the data help us find those solutions. Leadership for IDSC, Nick Sinoramus is the director. I'm the deputy director. That's in the top row. Mitsu handles most of our educational issues. Alberto is our using data science for communication czar. Yelena is developing new innovation in data science. Kim Griffender is really our expert in extended reality and virtual reality. Rudy leads our smart cities efforts. In the bottom row, Rudy leads our smart cities efforts. Ken Goodman is ethics, and this is really important, the ethical use of data. Jim Bottom is a consultant in high performance computing, and Daniel leads some of the efforts on the psychological, using psychological data. Okay, in terms of assets, we have Triton, which is an IBM state-of-the-art IBM Power 9. and it was specifically designed, at the time it was completely unique, but it was specifically designed for advancing data science. So it has some structure to it, infrastructure to it, and I'll describe that in a second, that is specifically focused on data science applications. Of course, we have, in addition to that hardware, we have very, very important, we have system and data engineering core. So we have professional software engineers and developers that know data science and computing, and that's part of the resource for the entire university to use these engineers to develop their applications on our high performance systems. So Triton in 2019, it was in the top 5 academic institution supercomputers. Really very impressive. Of course, it's now 2023 and these things change rapidly. So I'm sure we're no longer in the top 5, yet it's still a very powerful system. And as I mentioned earlier, the design of the system was specifically intended to advance artificial intelligence, machine learning kind of applications. It's an IBM Power 9, 1.2 petaflops. So it's a cutting edge system in terms of the academic computing world. So it really fits this niche in between what you might have in a desktop or in a closet and what the big powerful computers have at the NSF supercomputing centers or the Department of Energy supercomputers. So there's this niche, this middle tier of supercomputing power, and that's really our niche with Triton. One of the key things that we're going to talk a little bit about today is, there's a charging model for using advanced computing, and we call those service units. And so, like almost any resource at the university, any particular lab, you have to pay to use those resources. And so service units is the way we do it at IDSC. And, one service unit, equates to a CPU hour or 2 gigabytes of RAM for 1 hour. Service unit costs $0.011. And to maintain your account on the system, it costs $1,000, which includes 90,000 service units. So for the person that's getting started, $1,000 for a year guarantees you an account and 90,000 service units. So it's a good starting point if you're just learning how to use the computer. And I'll talk about, if you don't have $1,000, I'll talk about some other programs that we have in place to help you along. We have a matching program, and this is for people that are using a lot more service units, and I'll go into the details on that in a little more detail in that. But as soon as you exceed a contribution of $3,000, which is 275 service units, then we start to get into the matching program. And so, as you can see with this, IDSC, if you go, it's actually $3,025, but IDSC will make a contribution of 1,100 service units if you contribute $3,025. So it's quite a good matching program, and I'll give you some additional examples of how that works. Here's our pricing schedule for everything. So you can see we have consulting services, advanced computing. One of the GPUs. This is using these accelerator cards, the accelerator cores, the GPUs. This is different pricing, but the system is designed for that, and so people can have access to that. The advanced computing storage, we have a high speed, more expensive storage, which is basically $50 per terabyte year. So for $50, you get a terabyte per year. Your minimum is 500 contribution. So you would get 10 terabytes, and you would have those for $500. You'd have those 10 terabytes of data storage for a year. So in terms of high-speed disk, this is a pretty good cost structure, much cheaper than you would get, say, in the cloud. And then we have very cost-effective storage. Again, a minimum terabyte, so $200, it would get you 10 terabytes per year for the year of storage. This is not high-speed storage, but it's good for archival services and things like that. And then you can see we have various consulting services, big data, data analytics consulting, software engineer, extended reality, and 3D machine learning services. So just the whole gambit of resources available to University of Miami faculty, and, staff, and researchers. Just to give you an example of the match here, it's really quite impressive when you think about it in terms of actual CPUs that are delivered. This is an example if you're writing a grant, the kind of thing that you would include in your budget. So for say $10,000, you're effectively purchasing 900,000 service units. Once you exceed $3,025, then you hit that second tier and you get a very big match. And so in the end, you're getting on the order of $37,900 worth of service units, or you basically you've purchased 900,000 and you're getting 3 million over almost 3.5 million service units. So we think that's a really good deal in terms of computational resources. The way IDSC is organized is as we have research centers, applied research centers, and cross-disciplinary programs. I'll show you a picture of what these things look like, what some of them are. So the cross-disciplinary programs are efforts that have tentacles in all of the applied research centers, and the applied research centers have focus on particular problems. So it might be smart cities, or it might be health informatics, or it might be earth system science. So these applied centers, but all of these applied research centers may take advantage of high performance advanced computing, or may take advantage of machine learning. And so there's these crosscuts, visualizing data. So there are crosscuts that all the applied research centers can take advantage of. Each of these focus areas, or the cross-disciplinary programs, applied research centers have directors. There's faculty joint hires. We're in the process of a major effort in joint hires. We have on the order of 16 joint positions that we're recruiting. We've already filled a number of them. Someone on David Chapman, who's on this call, he's one of our joint hires, but we have a lot of others in place. And of course, all of these programs have data scientists and a small amount of discretionary resources for being opportunistic in terms of developing research activities. So this is the picture I'm waving my hands about, but trying to create is, yeah, we have artificial intelligence and machine learning, which is a crosscut. Everybody can take advantage of it, but then you have these applied research centers, and these applied research centers, these are the ones that exist today, but some will come and go. At some point, I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime, but the atmosphere, ocean, and earth sciences component, or earth system science component, maybe that will be done, and something else will replace it, or we may just add additional things, additional centers as the need across the university evolves. If the university wants to start an initiative in an area that we don't have an activity, or if the university wants to really leverage an existing activity, we may create a new applied research center under that. And then, of course, you see all of these crosscuts: artificial intelligence, visualization, creative computing, and of course, ethics. Data ethics is an important component, and then the various technology platforms. We're creating a community. We have our core members. These are our founding faculty and joint appointments, and they'll have physical space in the institute. Like I said on the call, we have David Chapman. He's one of our new joint appointments, and David is one of will have space in the institute. We have associate members. They work collaboratively with core faculty, have prioritized access to IDSC resources, and are appointed via an application process. We have a few associate members and affiliated members. They use resources and they serve on the user advisory committee. And of course, all faculty and trainees have access to our Solution Center, pilot grants, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, and any community activities. In terms of the grants program, we have these competitive startup grants, and we go through a cycle every single year. Where we just completed our third year of these giving out these awards. They're typically designed to foster a burgeoning effort that could ultimately capture external funding. So they're sort of a startup activity to get proof of concept done. They typically include $20,000 for salary, for a postdoc or a student, or to buy out of summer teaching, or to buy out of some teaching or whatever, cover summer salary, and they include 1 million service units. We have an advisory committee that designs the theme for the grants program, which sometimes there may not be a theme, sometimes there may be a theme, or there may be some that are under a theme and some are more general. But we're trying to identify directions where we want to make sure resources are going to. We typically award 5 of these, maybe 6 on special years, and that's about slightly over 1/3 of the total applications typically here. The process for getting one of these competitive grants is a 2-step process. The first step is a letter of intent, and the reason we do that letter of intent is we want to make sure that you're connected with a data scientist when you make a proposal. So if you write a proposal, if you write a letter of intent and you don't have a data scientist to work with, we'll identify one for you. We'll give you. So the requirement is you have a data scientist involved, and so we connect projects and data scientists if you don't have one. If you have one already to work with, that's great, it's a collaborator, but we want to make sure that we're doing our job to disseminate data science across the university. And one of the things is to encourage people who have little experience with data science to work with a data scientist to grow their research enterprises. So we're trying to foster that with this competitive grants program. And of course, we have early career training grants for students, postdocs, early career faculty and staff. And basically, we give out user ID and 1K worth of service units. So that's about $90,000. Is a good way to get started. Not 90,000 service units, not $90,000. I'm sorry, $1,000 is the user ID plus 90,000 service units. And this is a good way to get started if you've never used high performance computing. Get this early career training grant. Log into the system, start trying some things, get comfortable, decide whether this is right for you, and then you can think about either supporting service units with real dollars or applying for some of these competitive startup grants. We have a Advanced Computing User Advisory Committee, sort of a users group. We're just about to relaunch this effort. It's initially going to be open to a committee of all users. It's going to be sort of a Zoom town hall format, and it's going to include advanced users who really know what they're doing, and those that have very little experience, and they're going to hear the conversation of what some of the challenges are, importing code, and get some clues, who to reach out to. Sort of a group that can help internally solve problems and figure out solutions. So a lot of times, particularly when you're developing or porting code to a new system, someone's already bumped into the problems you're bumping into, and good to hear what their solutions for those problems are. So this is to create that kind of community where people can, oh yeah, I had that problem. This is what I did to get around it. So to help you with those challenges. So we really want to identify the importance of having data scientists available to the university community to work with. And so I really want to underscore this. IDSC is more than just the hardware. Most importantly, IDSC is this a team of data scientists that are ready to collaborate with you, ready to help you write proposals, ready to help you develop or understand data science solutions to some of the problems you have. And so we're here to help you. If you see an announcement of opportunity in your discipline, but they're looking for some data science solutions to some of the problems, and that would make you more competitive, we're here to help you design that proposed activity and even collaborate with you on it. This is just a list of some recent things that we've had going in terms of collaborative efforts. This list is actually a little bit old, so I'm sure there's many, many more various other kinds of collaborative efforts that go on. It's hard to keep track. There's so many going on, but lots of activities in terms of collaborative opportunities. We also do education and training, of course. We have an IDSC Fellows program, and this is a bringing together core faculty and data scientists to mentor undergraduate and graduate students and even postdocs. And so these fellows get involved in a project. There's resources to help move that project forward. They report out in a science meeting at the end of the term of the fellow program, and it's an exchange of science and ideas, and it's something that graduate students and undergraduate students and postdocs can add to their CV as actually doing some data science. We have courses on campus. Of course, we have a master's of, we sort of supervise a master's in data science, but we also have Data Science 101 for freshmen. It's data science for everybody, and so it's a course for non-experts. But because data science is such an important part of our world, it's going to come up, and so we have data science for everybody. We have visiting scholars, so there's faculty fellows programs. It's designed specifically for faculty to get out of some of their teaching responsibilities and embed themselves in IDSC and work with IDSC core faculty and data scientists to build a certain program, build a specific effort, and really have a focused activity. And of course, we have a visiting fellows program for external researchers to come in and help us grow our research and exchange ideas. Of course, we do seminars, training, this town hall we're doing right now, but we also have the IBM Skills Academy. There's training events for using the supercomputers, all kinds of seminars, and we run the Smart Cities Miami conference, which is coming up, big data conference, and VisUM, lots of activities. As I mentioned before, we have a master's in data science, and almost every university or every major university around the country is developing a data science program. And the niche for us is this statement, data science for all disciplines. I think that's really our niche. Is there's certainly going to be some students that really want to develop new cutting edge data science techniques. But there's a big element as part of this data science, this master's in data science, that is trying to bring data science into specific disciplines. So for example, if you're interested in atmospheric science like I am, you might have someone do a master's in data science. It's bringing cutting edge data science techniques to a problem in atmospheric science as part of their master's degree. And so we have a interdisciplinary component that it brings in some discipline-specific, non-data science discipline-specific activities to data science activities. So it brings them together. It's interdisciplinary, and of course, we have a component that has an internship where the students really are solving a real-world problem, and hopefully leading to a transition to industry internships and employment. So we're working very hard with industry to develop industry relations. Justin, who's on the call, is directing a lot of this activity. Justin is developing industry relationships. And of course, we have an external industry advisory board that meets a few times a year to give us advice on how we can grow our activities by developing partnerships with industry. And the idea is not to just do this for the sake of developing partnerships, but to actually grow our research in a direction that has a real world application. So we really want to have these partnerships to foster research that will then improve industry activities and then feed back onto how we do our research and really develop new research programs. So it's really a partnership. It's a collaboration. It's not a fee for service kind of situation. It's a real interactive, developing new ideas and applying those new ideas kind of thing. And of course, we have our IDSC magazine that comes out, I guess, quarterly. And I think there's one that's just come out or is about to come out. Anyways, you can go ahead and subscribe. And I'm sure Eve can point you to the subscription as needed. Let me see if I can figure out how to shut off sharing my screen. Stop share. Big crowd. And in the chat, let me see if there's anything.
Vincent, we've covered all the questions in the chat. So if anybody else has any other questions, yeah, we've gotten that. So if anybody else, feel free to unmute yourself.
Hi, I have a question.
And,
yeah, sure, Sam, let me have it.
Hi, Ben. I have a question about I'm here. I work here with Office of Institutional Research and Strategic Analytics, to get enterprise data governance stood up. And so I'm just curious about to what extent is IDSC in the Office of Industrial Relations working internally at all with training and workforce development here at Is that on the table at all? Or I'm just curious.
You know, I don't, Eve, Sam, I don't know the answer. Maybe Eve has a better sense of what, I don't believe we have a big activity there, but Eve can probably clarify that.
currently, we do not.
Okay.
But if there's a need, we can always definitely plan to connect and figure out what the need is and see whether or not there's opportunity for us to grow or develop something in that space.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see what that looks like in other corporations you're working with industry wise. That's what I was kind of curious about, why I came on the call. So I'd be interested in seeing what that looks like in action.
Okay.
Justin, did you want to respond to that?
Yeah, I was just going to comment that actual topic came up in our last industry advisory board meeting. So I'd be very interested in having a follow-up conversation with you just to bounce around some ideas and see where we could take that. Because one of the members of our board was quite interested in pursuing that discussion. So
excellent.
Let's connect.
Awesome. Thanks.
Right. Thanks.
Yeah, I imagine has a great deal of data, internal data that could be used for some very interesting discovery. Yeah. It seems to me a natural fit. So it makes for a great idea.
Cool.
Can I ask to be included in that conversation too? My name's Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Yeah, Tim is a great resource for that too. I think so.
Cool. All right, great.
Thank you.
Justin, what's your last name?
It's Gammage, Gammage.
AGE. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Justin just joined. He's one of our newbies.
Welcome.
We're very excited to have him.
Thank you. I'm very excited too.
Cool.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, just making sure.
Yes.
So I'm Peter, and I'm external to I am an alum, but that's not relevant, I think.
Sure.
So I'm a high school teacher, computer science and mathematics for the last 20 years.
Excellent. Congratulations. Thank you for doing that.
Okay, thank you. I know you were talking about community partnerships and community relations and
yes.
Industry partnerships, et cetera. Is there
Yes.
any attention being paid to the other end, the kids and developing the kids and what's happening just locally, so you at least have, you know, students coming in that already know what data science is?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's something we've talked a lot about. One of our executive council members, Alberto Cairo, is very interested in working on this problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Eve to connect you with Alberto Cairo. This is something that he has a great deal of interest in, and he's a great communicator. He's written books about how to communicate. And so he would be a really good guy to hook up with to figure out how we can do that connection to get some of these high school kids or even younger to have a sense of what data science is and what it can do for them. And it's a great idea.
Okay.
So Eve, if you could help Peta with that, that would be great.
I just did a direct message to you in the chat. If you can respond with the information I requested, I can facilitate that introduction.
Hi,
Okay,
if I
will do.
may, I'm from, this is Carolina Gutierrez. I don't have my camera, I'm sorry, but I'm from
That's
the
okay.
Department of Neurology, and I'm representing the Florida Stroke Registry. One of the questions that I have for you guys, we've been wanting to connect with you all. We're beginning to get a lot of data from the state, and I've noticed that you all also have data from the state, like data from ACA, vital statistics, and other. We would like to know what's your data sharing policies. If you have any of this data already, what is the data that you have? Why do you have it? How could we connect? One of the ways that we work right now, like I said, is directly through the Department of Health. And when we do our DUAs with them, they actually want to be the ones to submit to each of the different agencies. So they're also curious about how can we collaborate with you guys so that we don't have to duplicate the process on our end.
Oh, this is great, Carolina. Eve, I think it's probably best if Carolina gets connected with Nick on this as a place to start, and Nick can take it from there. But yes, this is a great idea. Wouldn't it be nice if we just had one-stop shopping for data and data agreements and things like that? I think this would be fabulous. So yes, Carolina, thank you for asking, and Eve's probably direct messaging you now, and we'll get you connected with the right people.
Thank you. Yeah, we actually had a meeting with Nick and we had to cancel. So if you want to throw in the name Tanya Rundek, I think he's very good friends with her, but it's
yes.
basically about that. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Okay, good. Yep, good.
Carolina, I have your email, so I'll communicate. I'll make the connection.
Thank you. Can I add another question? You know, since with all of that data, you talked about data scientists. So let me see if I can make it simple. Right now, we do not have the capabilities of biostatisticians or analysts, and a lot of times what we do is we end up getting graduate students. What is the process that you all would have if we were to develop our shop a little bit more professionally, to have folks like data scientists on our team, maybe paying some percentage of their salary from
that's exactly how we would work it. So we would connect, I would connect you with Nick, but we can redirect resources of some of our data scientists to a particular task. You pick up part of their salary, and they can be participants in writing new grant proposals and covering some of their time to do collaborative projects. It's exactly the model we have in mind. Is, for me, a lot of the work I do, I could hire a graduate student or a full-time postdoc, but sometimes it's not an appropriate problem, and I just need a software engineer, a data scientist to help me grind on some of the data. I only need a couple of months of their time. And so instead of hiring somebody full-time, I just need 2 months. I go to IDSC, I make an arrangement with one of them. They give me 2 months of their time. They work on my problem. Everybody's happy. That's the model we kind of have in mind. So yes, we would be more than happy to work with you on that too, Carolyn.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Excellent. It looks like we made a little bit of progress on 3 issues. That's a home run in my book. That's fantastic. So if anybody has any more questions, you can feel free to reach out to me. Email address is just bkurtman@miami.edu. You can always reach out to Justin, who's here, if you have some partnership kind of ideas. Ravi, who is also on the call, is our director of advanced computing. If you have computing issues, you can talk to Ravi. Pedro is here. He's also part of that advanced computing team. Tim is a data guru. So lots of people here that you can reach out to get questions answered. And you can always come to me or to Eve to direct you to the right person. Sometimes it's not obvious who you should hook up with, but we really are here. It's a resource for the community and the community in general, and we're here to help. We want to collaborate where it makes sense to collaborate. All right. Feeling like we've exhausted the questions. So
yeah, I don't have a question, but I just want to say, yeah, this is great. I'm a alumni as well.
Great.
I don't actually have a question though, but yeah, this is yeah, thanks for hosting this town hall. It's pretty interesting.
Okay, like I said, if something comes up, Praveen, we'd love to work with you. So let us know.
Sure, I'm sure there'll be a lot of opportunities. I host all the Unity, Unreal Engine, and Magic Leap user groups in South Florida, and also I'm the head of the blockchain center in Miami and in Las Vegas. So sure it'll be
Excellent.
something we can work on.
Wonderful. Please feel free to reach out to Justin. I'm sure he'd really be eager to work with you on things.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks.